Okay, so we are making the Caprice chicken recipe, and it is absolutely delicious. It looks divine. Like, if you're not a cook, you can totally make this in 20 minutes or less. I'll show you the picture. I'll come closer. You can see it in one of the posts. Do you see it? Doesn't that look delicious? So it calls for chicken breasts, but I actually am doing this with chicken thighs. And the recipe is, I've got to do 2 tablespoons of the Tuscan chicken spice, okay, which is this one. I'll use this one. So where's my measuring spoons? There they are. So 2 tablespoons. So I'm actually going to do 1 tablespoon because I only have 3 thighs. So I'm going to put 1 tablespoon in. Then it calls for 2 tablespoons. So I'm singling the batch because I'm only cooking for 2 instead of a family. So I'm going to use 1 tablespoon of balsamic vinegar. Okay. Hydrate that. And then from there, disaster in the kitchen. Then I need 1 tablespoon of oil, and I always use avocado oil now. I don't use vegetable oil. Very, very seldom do I use vegetable oil. Okay. And I find avocado oil. How many of you used avocado oil? If you use avocado oil, give me some lovin'. This is you can buy it at Costco. It's amazing. Great salad dressings. For salad dressings, healthy oil for you. You can bake with it. It's a high temperature bake. It's really, really, really good. Okay, so I have balsamic vinegar. We have olive oil. Or we have the oil. Now I need to add a tablespoon of honey. So let me grab my honey. 1 tablespoon of honey. And you should have the liquefied honey, but I don't have that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to soften this like for 30 seconds in the microwave and get that honey softened. One of the things about the summer grilling season, how many of you guys like to prep ahead of time? Like, get things done, put them in the freezer, and then you don't have to worry about it. That's the thing about Epicure cooking, is that you can make big batch marinades and then freeze this. So I'm actually going to only cook 1 breast tonight, and then the other 2 I'm going to actually freeze, and then I'll have them, or not breasts, these are thighs with the bone in. So I'll be able to use these at another time. Because what's really beautiful is when you're cooking with Epicure, you can cook for a big family, or you can cook for 1 or 2 people, right? Because you can kind of convert the recipes into a smaller batch. And I'm finding that we're eating a lot of leftovers. These are really big thighs. So all you can do now is you're actually going to marinate that. You can freeze that. You can get cooking with it right away. So it only really needs to sit for about 5 to 10 minutes. The more it sits, the more flavorful it was. But the one that we grilled today only took about 10 minutes while I was prepping everything else. Okay? So that I'm going to let sit because it's only going to take about 6 minutes to cook that thigh in my steamer. So this is, if you're new to Epicure, this is a magical tool in your kitchen. So they have the silicone-based cookware, and the silicone-based cookware is amazing because you can cook almost everything. There is going to be a chart, if it's not uploaded already, there's a chart that kind of tells you what you can do with your steamers. So what I love that's happening as we're coming live across Canada and the US, people are pulling out their steamers and they're starting to cook with them and discover the beauty of these tools. So the silicone is a food grade silicone. It does not leach any chemicals into your food. A lot of times it's the containers that you're using to heat your food up and stuff that are causing issues. It seals and it steams your food and it rapidly cooks your food. So it's a quick, and it holds more nutrition because it's such a quick cook. You can do vegetables, you can do quinoa, you can do rice. I've never personally have not cooked rice, so that's a challenge I'm going to take to cook rice. If you've cooked rice in your steamer, post below and let me know you've done that. One of the things about this too is that reheating your food is really a great tool to reheat your food, okay? All right. So once that's done, I'm actually going to put the a thigh with bone in, because you can actually cook a whole chicken in a steamer, in the big steamer. So I'm going to take some of the extra sauce and just put that on there. And then this here, I'm going to, after this cooking class is done, this is going into the freezer. And what's really cool, how many of you at 4 o'clock in the afternoon go, oh, I don't know what I'm going to make for dinner. Oh my gosh, I didn't take anything out. It's frozen. I am pooched. Oh, I got to go through the drive-thru. Oh my gosh, it's going to break our budget. Did you know that you could actually pull out your frozen food, throw it in your steamers and defrost it for a few minutes and then cook it? And it'll probably add maybe 5 minutes to actually preparing your meal. So if you've never done that, I'm going to challenge all of you to give that a try. Defrost it a little bit and then start going. And you would cook at a lower, like don't go high with your frozen. You go defrost and then cook on, if it's not quite unthawed, just do a medium heat and then you can bring it up to a high. So if you've never done that, that's an amazing opportunity. And you still can get a healthy meal on the table fast. This probably, because the bone is in it, so I'm going to give it 2.5, 3 minutes, and then I'm going to take a look at it and see where it's at. Okay? So now putting the chicken. Well, that's sizzling, that's bubbling. Let's put it on the plate. And we'll cut it. This looks really good. Okay. That's ready to go. I'm going to cut that. So what you would do to plate it properly with the Caprice recipe is you would actually take a piece of your cheese. These are our old Epicure knives, but that one's dirty. Just slice a piece of mozzarella. You would lay it on top, and you could just leave it on the grill or just let it melt on its own. And you're going to chop some tomatoes. Slice a tomato. If you have some basil, throw some basil on. So imagine that all actually melted. Put that on and you have a beautiful Caprice. Delicious. That is so good. And it looks like, when you're making it grilled, it looks like that. Alright. So that was really good for supper tonight.